tonight, without any further introduction needed, is Blade himself, who is joining me live here on Hansen versus Predators. Blade, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate it. You know the controversy, and I don't have to say much more about it. What's your side of the story here? What happened in that RV?
So we had been streaming all day. We had picked up Gucci's, or she had met us in, I believe, San Francisco.
Right.
We went out to bars. I had a couple drinks. Truth be told, I am a drinker. I'm actually, unfortunately, known on the internet for getting really, really drunk for donations, for views, or whatever, and sometimes doing things, stupid things, when I'm in a drunk stupor. But this day, I really didn't drink that much because Gucci's was performing karaoke. She was being pretty ridiculous. She was really, really, really drunk. I think it was nervousness. We went back on the RV, and while we were back in the RV, she was really sexually aggressive towards everyone on the RV. My friend Bone Clinks, my friend Bjorn. She was really into Bjorn, and there's actually clips of her basically like constantly jumping on top of Bjorn, right, and trying to like make out with him and stuff like that. She tried to pull me into the RV's bathroom for, I don't know what she was trying to do, but I really wasn't trying to be back in the bathroom with her, especially on stream, and I really wasn't interested in her. And so she finally went to the back with Bjorn. I don't know what exactly happened there. Both of them had been drinking pretty heavily. But then Bjorn came back up to the front. We were up there for a while. And then as a joke, I admit saying this is all on stream, I was like, hey, should I go back there and have sex with her? It was clearly a joke. Bjorn went along with the joke, and I was just tired. All I wanted to do was get some sleep at the big bed. If you face from the RV looking at the bed, Gucci's is on the left in a blanket. I gather a blanket, and I proceed to go to sleep, or at least attempt to go to sleep.
Did you sexually assault or inappropriately touch Gucci's, Jessica?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I did not touch her in that bed at all.
Now, when you are at the helm there in the RV, you say, I'm going to, after you talk about having sex with Gucci's, whether you're joking or not, you say, I'm going to go pee. Almost like you're making an excuse to go back there and do what you said you were going to do. How do you explain that?
I mean, honestly, I had to urinate before I went to go sleep. That's honestly what that is. If you watch the tape, you see me go into the bathroom for like probably less than 30 seconds and then come out, and then I go back to the bed to sleep. Now, as I'm doing this, obviously, Bjorn, who I believe it was my chat that he had my little selfie stick set up with the phone and everything. The chat's like, go back and check. And then when he goes back and checks on me, I'm literally attempting to sleep. I think I was back to back with Gucci's. There's video and clips of that. And I literally was just trying to sleep. And then I came out because like I could hear Bjorn talking about he's not doing anything wrong. And I think I went to go talk to him, but then I went back and tried to go back to sleep. There is this one clip where there's 3 windows, and in the middle window is just air blowing in, and so stuff's flying around. I tried to cover Gucci's with a blanket at one point and tried to get back to sleep. And then I believe Bjorn tried to put the camera in there, and I don't think that watching a man sleep is interesting. I'm a heavy sleeper when I finally do get to sleep, so oftentimes when us as streamers do what's called sleep streams, it's literally an attempt to bait donations that will play over the speaker to try to wake us up or irritate us. But I'm a heavy sleeper, so I finally said, we've been streaming for like 12 hours a day. I turned off the stream and went to sleep.
Now, there are some people who've watched this video who believe that it shows you on top of Jessica moving around in a sexual manner. How do you respond to that?
I didn't do anything like that. The only time that I got above her was to put a blanket over her because it was freezing, and then went back to try to get in a position to sleep.
Now, other people question, true YouTubers who have gone over this video over and over and over again, why you were complaining at one point of being cold, yet you walk out of that back room without your shorts on. How do you explain that?
So oftentimes, like when people, especially with the RV cams and the 24/7 cams, a lot of times when I drink in excess, which I didn't do this night, but a lot of times when I drink in excess, I just fall where I fall, sleep on the ground, sleep on a sofa with full clothes. But when I actually like prepare to go to bed, I don't like sleeping with a belt around my shorts and all that other stuff. So I usually take my pants off and take my shirt off and just sleep in my underwear. So that's what I was doing. I was trying to cover up, even though we were in a hot state. We were driving at night and the wind blowing. I was freezing, but I don't really sleep in my clothes when I try to sleep comfortably.
Now, a couple days goes by. Actually, let me back up. You were in Reno, Nevada at this point in the beginning of this
I believe it. I could be wrong, but I believe this so-called incident happened in San Francisco.
In San Francisco, okay. Now, the account that I've read is that somebody was concerned about it and reported it to police. There really wasn't much activity at the time, but later when the whole caravan got to Colorado, there was some police intervention. Jessica went to the police and complained that she felt that she had been touched or sexually assaulted by you. This is after she apparently looked at some of the videos and was involved in some conversations with other people in the caravan. Why did she go to police and say that she was inappropriately touched or sexually assaulted by you?
So she was in contact with, I don't know if your community knows what doxers or swatters are. She was in constant contact before this RV trip happened with members of teams that literally want to ruin IRL streamers' lives. They call the police on people. They call up shops that we visit to say that we're being inappropriate, smearing poop on stuff, yelling at people. So when this non-incident happened, and the next day I talked to her about it, everything was fine. We had a conversation off stream.
And what did she say to you in person about this?
She said, she asked me what's going on? Why are people saying this stuff? And I go, they're trying to ruin my life. And I go, I asked her, did you feel like I inappropriately touched you? Do you feel like you got, like, I hate to use the word, but raped? And she's like, no, I don't feel anything like that. I just went to sleep. So after that, we had an entire day of streaming. I believe by then we were in Salt Lake City, and we streamed for probably 10 plus hours that day in Salt Lake City. But during this time, she's actually in her on her phone in a Discord, talking to known swatters that have actively for past year have been trying to ruin my life by doing calls, putting Craigslist ads out so that people constantly come to my door, just basically full on harassment towards me. And so she's a little, I don't want to use the word gullible, but she's very impressionable. So even though she was assured by Bjorn and myself that nothing happened, these other people were making stuff up and in her ear. And she also got intoxicated another night, and she admitted that, unfortunately, like I asked her, I was like, were you touched? And she was like, yeah, I was by my father. And I was like, I'm sorry, that's horrific, that's horrible. And then fast forward to when we were in Colorado, we all did a bunch of mushrooms. She didn't do mushrooms, but my entire crew did. We thought that'd be interesting. I had a bad mushroom trip. And then as we were leaving to get back on the RV, I basically just not passed out, but I basically just like laid in the stars and had like life epiphanies and whatever. And so when it was just Gucci's and the other members of the RV on the RV, that's when she talked to my boy Bam and Bjorn and Bone Clinks and said, you know what, I got all these people, I don't know what happened, but I got all these people talking in my ear saying that I was either sexually assaulted or let's go to the police. So Bone Clinks, like any person that would be in a position, believed her. and took her to the police, and they filled out a police report. I was in a hotel room for a couple days. I thought that I got ditched off the RV because I was kind of a dickhead on the mushroom trip, and this whole allegation, it was just bad news. I thought that maybe I'd just go home. I didn't know if I was going to get back on the RV or not. Bone took Gucci's to the police department, and they filed the report. And they also took my clothing and the bedding, and took that as evidence, and then they're going to test that. While I found out about this while I was in the hotel, I felt the need to clear my name. So without a lawyer, I found out from BAM, the police department that they went to. I went there.
In which police department was this, Blade?
Unfortunately, I don't remember the name of it. I could probably find out rather quickly.
Outside of Denver?
No, it was in Denver.
In Denver.
It was in Denver, yes.
What did you tell the police in Denver?
I spent most of the time explaining what IRL streaming was, and then I had a lot of Reddit clips from IP2. IP2 is a Reddit for IRL live streamers. I took a lot of the clips that basically, her saying I didn't do anything, the clip of me sleeping next to her, the clip of saying that her dad was her at one point in her life, and then also showed them Discord messages that she had said where she basically admitted that she was in the wrong, she had a lot of people in her ear, she didn't know what she was doing, and that she shouldn't have gone to the police in the first place. And
now, what bothers a lot of people here, Blade, is that during your live streams and even on, for instance, a soundboard on your website, you refer to.
When I'm in that mode.
Did you say, whether you were drunk or not, something to the effect of, have you ever been raped? You should be. Or something to the effect of, you seem capable.
There are clips of me saying that. I can't deny that, yes.
And what does that say about you, Blade?
It says I have a sick sense of humor, and I should probably some booze, because I would never say that sober or even tipsy.
The police confiscated sheets and clothing from that so-called incident.
From the RV, yeah.
From the RV. Have you heard anything back from investigators involved?
They said it would take a couple of weeks before they would send it back to me. So.
And what has Jessica/Gucci said to you since then?
She hasn't. She deleted all her social media. And the guys got her on a plane back home, and I haven't talked to her. I don't really think it's appropriate for me to talk to her because I feel like she falsely accused me and spread my name wrong, and that friendship is over. So I actually haven't talked to her since Colorado.
But this is a serious investigation here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you still maintain that you had absolutely no inappropriate sexual conduct, groping, or sexual misbehavior with Jessica that night?
I did not touch her that night. The only time I've ever touched her is when I hugged her when I first met her in San Francisco.
Let's talk for a minute about this stream where you look like you've been drinking. No secret there. You've talked about that. You're holding a dog.
Okay.
At some point, you toss this dog.
Correct.
And it looks like in the video, it's a pretty aggressive toss. It looks like you're abusing that animal.
Yes.
Why would you do that to an innocent dog? And again, I'll preface this by saying I'm a dog lover. I understand roughhousing with an animal, but this was more than that based upon my viewing of the video a number of times. You threw this dog across the room, and obviously when you do that to a dog, you're going to ignite a storm of backlash there. I mean, for good reason. It's animal abuse.
I have absolutely zero excuse for that. That was fucking horrific. There is a Bjorn. I need you to go away, dude. There is another shot that happened at what's called the IRL house, and there's another shot from a 24/7 cam where you see that the dog goes a couple feet, doesn't make it right. I got suspended on YouTube. I alienated a lot of people. I'm not making any excuses for that. That did happen when I was extremely drunk. I tossed the dog away from me, It's horrific. It's bad, and I apologize profusely for that. After that, I took a break from fucking streaming and the internet because I needed to reevaluate my life. Where if in me being so intoxicated that I would do something like that, that's fucking horrific. And a million apologies. I have no excuses for that.
What happened to the dog? People are clamoring on the internet that the dog's spine was injured, that the dog maybe even died.
No. There's I could probably send you the clip. The dog went a couple feet onto carpet and then just scampered off. The dog, thank God, was not injured. There's no injuries, no trauma, no anything from that incident. Again, a million apologies. I'm truly embarrassed by that.
Now, who's Bjorn, and why was he shooting his mouth off today and threatening me, so to speak?
Do you want to talk to Bjorn?
I'm not that frightened. I don't know that we need to bring him on, but why does he do something like that?
Hello, Chris Hansen.
Bjorn, how are you?
Talk to him.
Hello, Chris Hansen.
Hello, Bjorn, how are you?
I'm doing very good.
Bjorn, he wanted to ask you why you were talking a lot of shit to him today.
Bjorn, you seem to have an issue with me, and all I'm trying to do is do a straight up fair story here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, but your last name is Hansen?
Yes, it is.
But that's a Scandinavian name.
It's Danish, actually. I assume Bjorn is too.
He's from Denmark.
I'm from Denmark.
Right. So are my
So
people.
are you fake?
Am I fake? No, I have Danish blood. Hansen.
Are you American or not American?
I was born here in the United States, but my
but your last name is not American.
Okay.
Okay, that's it for Bjorn.
Okay.
Thank you, Bjorn. Now I think I understand a little bit more about Bjorn. Now,
sorry about he's been up all day and he's been drinking a lot. And sorry about that. Sorry.
Well, let's go back.
Thank you, Bjorn. Thank you.
Let's go back to this notion of drinking to get paid for being on YouTube and streaming. Is that your gig? Is that what you do full time? Is that how you survive?
Yeah, unfortunately, I started. Come on, Bjorn. Come on. Unfortunately, I started with gaming, and then I discovered stream. Bjorn, I really need you to leave, dude. Bjorn, this isn't funny, dude. Come on. 1 second. 1 second, Chris.
Sure. All right, we're going to stand by here.
Like, I'm a partier. People made a suggestion that maybe I should take shots for money, and I'm one of the few streamers that actually am willing to embarrass myself at this point by drinking for donations. And then it's kind of spiraled out of hand over the last couple of years. So now the image of me on the internet is that I'm a drunk asshole. And if I don't drink,
that works for you?
It's not working for me anymore.
If prosecuted successfully, you could go to prison. We're talking about other instances where live streams show you groping a 17-year-old girl. Do I have that right?
Yeah, that was a complete misunderstanding. I didn't.
I see the video. You grabbed her from behind there.
No, I literally extended my hand to Jasmine and said, "Are you okay?" And she got weirded out by that. I didn't grope her.
Right.
The next, and she doesn't drink, so there's no oh, I don't know what happened. And she's not 17, she was 20 or 19 or 20. And the next day she came on my stream and said, "Yeah, you literally just touched my side," and I freaked out. She didn't know how to handle it. And she went on my stream and admitted that, and then we spent 10 hours together at Mr. G's house, who's a streamer in Hawaii. So that's literally the internet running with that. A lot of people in the Ice Poseidon CX community calls me grope or grope gang or groper, and there's no change in their minds. Bone, who's a very wholesome streamer, Bjorn, if you don't get the fuck out of here, dude. Bjorn, seriously, dude.
Let's talk about this Ice Poseidon fellow. I think most of the people watching this tonight understand who he is. Another live streamer, YouTube guy. Involved in gaming initially, but now there are allegations swirling around him, and we'll deal with this in a subsequent show where he's here to talk about his side of the story. But again, there are allegations of inappropriate conduct, in this case with underage.
Yeah.
YouTubers. How do you put that into perspective here? What's your belief on that?
I mean, I can't really speak on what Ice is going through. Ice, who was living in LA and was actually the reason why I moved to LA from Missouri to be more in this IRL thing. He has tried to distance himself from everyone that he has worked with because of the toxic community, because of the people that are around him that do stupid stuff and like make his brand and his name like that. So he actually moved to Austin, Texas, and tried to disassociate himself with pretty much everyone. Ice is trying to get unbanned on Twitch, so he's trying to have like family friendly stuff, but Twitch is never going to unban him. Sorry if you're watching this, Ice, it's not going to happen, dude. I'm trying to be healthier, and I'm trying to figure out what my next move in life is, because if I were to continue doing this where I get absolutely blacked out drunk all the time for entertainment for like 4,000 people, I'll die in a year. So definitely have some life stuff I got to deal with.
There's also talk in the YouTube community that you broke up a marriage live on YouTube 2 years ago, seducing a wife of a friend. Is there any truth to that?
Yes.
Why would you do something like that?
Again, not an excuse, but 6 months prior, he was a super fan of mine. And the girl came down, she was drunk. She started making passes at me. I was drunk and I started kissing and making out with her. And then the husband came down and witnessed it. It was just all bad. And I attribute that to alcohol. Of course, I would never do anything that sober, but again, not an excuse. That's a shitty thing. So I'm never going to say that some of the things I do when I'm drinking isn't shitty. I might run out of apologies if I continue that path, though.
What about the DNA? If there is DNA and it's found to be yours, is there an explanation how that would have gotten there?
Not on her. I've never touched her besides a hug. There was, when we got to Colorado, there was a time when everyone ventured off and we were having issues with the RV. And I admit I'm a male and I pleasured myself solo, no one else around, in the privacy of the RV. So there might be some like DNA evidence of that, like on like a blanket or something, but nothing having to do with.
Did you tell the police about that?
Yes.
So that's the only way there would be your DNA
in the RV or on the bed. Yeah, but they did the little swabs where they get like the four corners of my mouth, and they pulled some blood from me. So they got my DNA samples that I was. And
you consented. You consented to that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Song on YouTube saying or called "OnlyUseMeBlade" is a groper.
No. So part of our community is that they make these. They take like current day songs and they remix them and put different lyrics. Like "OnlyUseMeBlade" is a groper. Groper is the song that they started making when I was in Hawaii. And people donate that song to be played all the time. There's, the Old Town Country Road song that was very popular.
Right.
They made this one song called "Only Lose Me Legs" because I got poor circulation in my legs from the heavy alcohol use. And so they literally take the same beat and a similar voice and make these memes and these songs. But I don't make any songs. I have no musical talent whatsoever. These are just viewers that are poking fun at me and they make these songs that get played all the time.
One more question. What does the catchphrase "figure it out, little bruises" mean?
Okay. So one of my catchphrases is "figure it out." And when I say figure it out, I've been saying that since I was a kid. Pretty much any life situation that gets thrown at you, like a lot of people fret about it and like cry about it and just go, "I don't know what I'm going to do." And my kind of nonchalant approach to it is figure it out. It's either going to kill you, like whatever hurdle life throws at you, it's either going to kill you, or you could sit down, you could power through it. You might take a loss or whatever, but you can figure out a better outcome to live another day.
All right, Blade, a.k.a. Brian Rizzo, thanks for being on the show tonight. We appreciate it. We'll keep on top of the story, and we'll stay in touch.
All right. Thank you, Chris. And thanks, Vincent.
You're welcome. Have a good night.